Hey ThreadBangers, this is Vanessa from the Crafty Gemini YouTube channel. I'm new to the ThreadBanger family and this is actually my first tutorial for you guys, so I hope you enjoy it. I like to teach my viewers how to make cute, easy, and overall practical projects. So today I'll be walking you through how to make your own quilted makeup brush carrier. So let's start with the supplies you'll need and jump right into making our project. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is take one of the fabric pieces, the one that you want to be the outside or the back of your makeup brush carrier, and we're going to take our fusible fleece here, put it with the fusible side facing up, and then the fabric with the pretty side of the fabric facing up. You're going to follow the manufacturer's instructions and fuse this down. After you have that completely fused, as you see here, it's pretty much held together nicely. We're going to go ahead and quilt it. So you can just pick some of the decorative stitches your machine offers and stitch any design you want on this. You always want to do it with the fusible fleece side facing down on your machine as you stitch through it. I just did some zigzag lines here, real simple. Now we can put that aside, and what we're going to work with next is actually what's going to be the inside of the makeup brush carrier, and then this blue fabric here is going to be the pocket, or the little pockets that we're going to make for the makeup brushes. You take that one piece, fold it in half lengthwise with the pretty side of the fabric facing out. Then you're just going to line up these raw edges here and place a few pins. Going to use a 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and stitch just a basic straight stitch all the way down. Then you want to take that piece and open up here the little sleeve type thing you created and lay it so that that center seam you just sewed is running horizontally down the center. Press it down with your hand, then you're going to take it over to your ironing board and you want to press that in place with the seam headed in one direction. So just push the seam to the side and iron it down. Here we have it looking nice and flat and crisp. You can see the seam is nicely pressed all the way down. I'm going to take this and place it on the piece of fabric I'm going to use for the inside of my makeup brush carrier. You want to line it up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from that bottom edge. One thing to note is that that seam should be going down so that when you put your makeup brushes in, it's going nicely with the seam as opposed to lifting it up like this. So make sure that seam is facing down towards the inside so your brushes will slip in nicely. Then pin the fabric in place around all sides to keep it nice and stable as you sew down the 3 sides of it. We're going to start up here and backstitch at the top and at the end, and then just come down across the long side and then right back up. You don't want to sew across the top because that's going to be our pockets and we have to leave it open. There's no particular seam allowance to use. Just go ahead and sew real nice and close to the edge. You can see I sewed about 1/8 of an inch away from that bottom edge of the blue fabric. Double check and make sure you left that top part of the pocket open. Now take the back, the quilted piece, and put it with the pretty side facing up, and then the pocket part, which is the inside, with the pretty side facing down. Now before we stitch this together, we want to go ahead and put in our ribbon ties here. Here I have 2 different types of ribbon. They're 2 different widths. I like the one with the little hearts for this project, but you can use any ribbon you want, or you can even make some out of fabric. You're going to cut 2 little pieces that measure about 15 inches each. And remember, if you have a ribbon that frays, go ahead and seal it with a lighter to the edges. So for the placement of our ribbon ties, I just like to take the back piece here, fold it in half lengthwise, and make a quick little mark at the halfway point here on this edge. You can put the ribbon ties on either edge, and I'm going to overlap them here, then take them to my sewing machine and zigzag stitch real nice and close to the edge just to anchor them down. Notice I'm putting the ties of the ribbon towards the inside of the fabric and not sticking out towards the outside. Once that's nice and secured on that edge, I just like to bundle up my ribbons and put a safety pin through them just to keep them out of my way and so they don't get caught around the 4 edges when we sew our pieces together. Now you can layer your pieces together again with the pretty sides facing each other, and we're going to place some pins all the way around all the raw edges. And once you have that done, remember to mark yourself about a 3 to 4 inch opening that you're going to leave unstitched, and that's where you're going to flip the whole piece inside out through. So we're going to start on one end, back stitch there. I use a 1/4 inch seam allowance, go all the way around all 3 sides. When you come up to the other end on the 4th side here, back stitch there as well, and then you'll end up with this little piece unstitched to help you flip everything out through. Once that's done, I like to trim away at my corners. This is just going to help remove some of the bulk or the excess fabric there so you can get those nice crisp points when it's all flipped inside out. Go ahead and turn everything inside out, including all those corners. And once you have that done, it looks a little bit messy, but just go ahead and take it to your iron. Notice if you switched it like I did, go ahead and re-flip it out so that your pocket is facing correctly and you don't have that center seam showing. So the pocket should be on the side that's not quilted, like you see here. Once you hit it with the iron and give it a good press, remember to then tuck in the raw edges of that opening you have there. You can just fold it in, press it shut, place a few pins, and now we're going to top stitch the entire thing around. That's going to add some stitching to the top outside and also to help secure that opening. Once that's done, go ahead and start measuring your little pocket openings for your different makeup brushes. For the bigger ones, I like to do about 1.5 inches, and so I'm just going to go down the length of it here measuring. For these skinny ones, you can also just put in the makeup brush and measure. I use 1-inch increments for the smaller ones. And then all you need to do is stitch in place. So backstitch at the top of the pocket, stitch a straight line all the way down till you get to the bottom. And I like to secure my stitches with a backstitch at the bottom as well. Remember to trim all your little threads on the front and on the back so everything's nice and neat and you're ready to use your makeup brush carrier. Remember, you can also use this to store eyeliners, lip glosses, and even mascaras. To fold it up, just roll it on itself and use the ribbon ties on the opposite end to tie it. So that's it, ThreadBangers. If you enjoyed this tutorial, go ahead and hit it with a thumbs up. You can also check out more of my videos by clicking right here at the Crafty Gemini YouTube channel. I have tons of other easy, fun, and practical projects from everything from sewing to quilting and even some cooking tutorials. I also have a mobile app that you guys should check out. It's free, available for both Android phones and iPhones. You can send me tutorial suggestions, questions, and just keep up with all my blog posts and new videos. And don't forget to upload pictures of your completed makeup brush carriers to our Facebook page. I always love to see what you guys are out there making from the Crafty Gemini tutorials.